Hi, everybody. It's Coach Rogers here, the Career Coach Talk Show. Thank you for joining us yet again for a wonderful part of our interview series. Now, today we have a model, we have an actress, we have a person who even knows how to spin the tracks as a DJ. We have the wonderful Miss Tierra Amira Jones. Now, Tierra Jones was born in August in Washington, D.C., and she left DC at age 11 to attend a junior boarding school in New York, which already makes her story very interesting. She flourished there in her love for dance and music and acting. And from that point, she went on to graduate from that all-girls boarding school, where she continued to further her progression in these areas in high school productions such as The West Side Story, Chicago, and Guys and Dolls. Since she attended an all-girls school, she even played both male and female roles, which is crazy that she has that level of skills. Next, after that, after college graduation, she went to the Cannes Film Festival, where she worked with several entertainment companies, which I find interesting. There's a lot of movies that come out of that festival that go on to make millions and millions of dollars. Since then, she has relocated to Los Angeles, where she's worked on the set of two major television shows, Shameless, which I like to watch, and Westworld, which millions of people watch on HBO and Showtime, respectively. Tierra was a guest on the show Out Loud with Claudia Jordan on Fox Soul, and she was featured as one to watch in Voyage LA magazine. As a model, she was featured in Sky Magazine and West Hollywood Magazine, and she also managed several social media campaigns for companies such as Reebok, Tomboy X, and Home Nutrition. DJing is also one of her greatest joys, as she is a resident DJ for two shows that air on Dash Radio. Recently, she's hosted her own morning radio show called Music Exposed on a digital platform known as Ethos Club. It is my pleasure to bring to you this highly fascinating, extremely creative, and downright gorgeous, awesome professional, Tierra Amira Jones. Hey, Tierra, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show today. It took me a little bit to do your intro because you've been here, you've been there, you've been everywhere, and doing a little bit of it all. I introduced you as this amazing actress, this wonderful DJ. You've done modeling work, and and it seemed like you grew a passion for all these things together. I'm just kind of curious. This is my first question because here at Career Coach Talk, I like to jump right into it with both feet. So, do you have something, do you love all these things equally, or do you lean towards one or the other a little bit more, or just a combination of something?
That is a good question. I guess honestly, I originally moved to LA to pursue acting, and that was just all I saw in my mind, like acting, acting, acting. Then as I got here, then I found the love for DJing. Then I started dancing more, which I was already a dancer for I want to say 16 years now. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I want to say I definitely love them all equally. They each serve a different purpose for me, and each make me feel whole. So there's no one piece. It's all a puzzle that needs to be put together.
Okay, that's interesting. So, you started very early. You started, if I read correctly, at age 11. So, what attracted you to the arts that early in your career?
Honestly, it's something that's always been in my heart. I first decided that I wanted to be an actress. I remember I was watching Disney Channel. I was young watching Disney Channel, and I remember just thinking to myself, I want to do that. Like I want to be an actor. And it was just that simple, and it was something that I don't know, I've stuck with ever since. It was weird. It was just a weird coming to, like me watching Disney Channel, seeing the actors just, I don't know, maybe it was Hannah Montana or something like that. And I just remember, yeah, I just remember like, I want to do that. And then I just found out more about the industry, started doing acting classes, and then it was just love, it's just acting's always going to be my first love for sure.
Okay, all right. So, you've had a fairly decent career, a lot of exposure. You've worked at Cannes. I'm sorry, it's Cannes, right? I don't know why
Yeah,
people
come on.
yeah, it's Cannes. You know, Cannes Festival, which is in France, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And you have been on the set of Shameless, which I'm already jealous of that you on the set of
Ah,
Shameless. It's one of the shows I watch. And Westworld is another fairly well watched show as well. Now, what type of things have you learned, in that level of exposure to that level of cinema?
it has been so surreal. I want to say, for example, when I was on the set of Shameless, Regina King was the director of that episode.
Oh my
And
God.
I had been watching her just all my life growing up. So walking on the set and then just seeing her, and then for her to be directing me was, I mean, that's still one of the most cherished memories in my mind that I will never forget. Um, Same thing with Westworld. When I was on Westworld, it was just being on an HBO set is just something amazing because I love working with HBO. Um, and it was, I want to say Westworld was not glamorous because we filmed in the summer, and Westworld, we have like a lot of wool, like heavy clothes. So we
Hmm.
were sweating our butts off when we weren't on camera. We were just sweating underneath everything. But I
Hmm.
mean, just that experience of being on set with all these great actors. Like I said, it's something I take in, something I just try to take it piece by piece when I'm on set and just make sure I take in everything, make sure I'm listening to director, but also watching them like, okay, how are they saying this? And watching the other actors. I just try to learn not only in my craft, which I consider acting, but I'm also trying to learn just be a well-rounded person. So I want to know what the director does. I want to know what the ADs do. I want to know what the producers are doing on set when they're, in the edit hub.
So
So
you just being a sponge, like kind of soaking up as much as you possibly can.
exactly. And I think that also makes for a well-rounded actor because if you understand a lot of the moving pieces that are going on set, then you'll have an easier time, one, acclimating, and two, just in the industry. It's just good to know, just have that business mindset, I think it's also good to not only be creative, but be business savvy, especially in this industry. So you understand both sides because you can have an actor or artist that, I mean, maybe doesn't read their contracts. So
Hmm.
therefore they're not, they don't know totally what they signed up for. So
Okay.
I think that's important. And that's also a reason why I'm a sponge on set and trying to just take everything in to make sure I understand it as an artist and as an
Mhm.
individual.
And as a business person. So,
Exactly.
tell me a little bit about one of your favorite roles that you've played. Especially on maybe one of the major ones. Like, what was your role, and what did you like about it? What was challenging about it?
I want to say right off the bat, one of my favorite roles that I played it was actually for a short film. But what was really cool about it was the director contacted me, I want to say the night before. He said, hey, my actress dropped out. We filmed some of her scenes. She can't make it anymore. Like, can you fill in? So he sends me the script that night. I memorized the whole script, met with him
Oh
the
my God.
next day, and we filmed the whole thing. So I think that was just me pushing myself, but that was a cool experience because it turned out awesome. The film turned out amazing. And I think that was the first time I'd ever played a mom on set too. So I had like a little boy as my child. And it was an
But
amazing
you look
experience.
way too young to be be a mom, though. Like, seriously.
Yeah. So it was really, really cool. It was really cool. But just the fact that everything, it made it seem so rushed, but I mean we all pulled it together because it was just teamwork. So that was definitely one of my favorite experiences or favorite roles I got to play because it was something that was just so instant and had to happen fast. And
Right, right.
that's just the industry sometimes too.
Okay, I'm gonna act. This is a selfish question. We're gonna go into some other stuff in a second, but I gotta know what episode of Shameless you was on. Seriously, I need to
It
know.
was up season 8, episode 4, I believe.
8-4. I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
that episode today.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be watching the episode, looking for you for sure. So I've been actually talking to a lot of people about the current world that we're in, which is absolutely insane. Nobody January of 2020 thought that we would be here dealing with this stuff and focus on the things and have this constant domino effect of stuff that's happened to us up to this point of the year. And I know it had a heavy toll on entertainment because I'm a movie person. I'm a movie buff. I'm this close to having like a movie blog, like as a critic or something. Like I'm really into
That'd
the
be awesome.
arts. from that standpoint. And it's hurt my feelings that at least, 80% of the movies that I want to see this year, I haven't been able to get to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones I'm looking forward to hasn't been able to even film for the upcoming months and even for next year. So from your perspective as an actress, a person who's a part of this particular industry, how is that affecting you, and how are you finding ways to work around it?
Well, I'm going to say it definitely has affected everyone in the industry. And I think it's still even in effect because there's just so much unknown when it comes to it. Like people are planning, but they don't know when they're planning for, if that makes sense. So I think at the beginning of COVID, I think I was pushing myself, or I had in my head as a creative, like, okay, I have all this free time. Like my job's not happening. I have all this free time to create. Like, let me make use of it. And I think I was stressing myself out with that. But the best piece of advice that an older actress told me was that, one, if you feel like resting, rest. If you feel like taking a nap, take a nap. If you don't feel like creating anything today, don't create anything today. And that was hard to hear because I'm like, well, I mean, this is my career. Like, what?
Right. You're
How am
supposed
I
to
gonna,
be on the grind like all the time, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta hustle. I gotta keep grinding. And she's like, just know that this is a time of rest, and that this is a time that people need to refocus, recuperate, and rejuvenate. And so when she said that, she's like, don't press your creativity. As a creative person, that will always be inside of you. That will never go away. She said, but what you don't want to do, she said, well, this is what she said, creativity dies with desperation. And so what she meant by that is if I'm pushing myself to create content and I'm not really there or motivated or feeling it, then that could, that's going to hinder, one, the product that I'm producing, and then two, my motivation, because I'm just pushing myself to do something I'm not really feeling in the moment. So once I heard that, I think I did take a step back and I allowed myself to rest and rejuvenate and to relax, which is hard as an entrepreneur and hard as a creative. It's very hard because we're always like, where's the next thing? If we're not doing anything, where's the next bill coming? Where's the next payment? But once I did that, I think things just naturally started happening. I started coming up with new ideas. The industry very much so has moved digitally. So it's a lot of, in terms of auditions, there's a lot of self-taping happening, not people going into audition offices anymore. There's even a lot of shoots that are happening over Zoom or FaceTime. I don't know if you've seen some commercials where it looks like people are on Zoom. That's actually a thing.
Wow. Okay.
And in terms of DJing, a lot of DJs have moved digital platforms such as Twitch, or I had my own radio show on a digital platform called Ethos Club, which is Black owned. Okay. And so, it took me a while to wrap my head around things not being in person anymore, because I'm such a people person. I love to connect. I love that in-person connection, not digitally. But I think with times changing, like I had to make the shift. And now I'm like, okay, I see it, But that's definitely how much the industry has adjusted and changed, and how I've adjusted and changed to it as well. That did take some happening on my part as well.
Okay. So do you believe that COVID is going to have a long-lasting impact, negative effect on your career? Do you think this is something you can definitely rebound from? You said it's a refresh moment for you. Do you think that this is possibly something you can, springboard from?
In terms of acting, no, I don't think it's going to have a really long-term effect. Like I said, people are already starting to shoot. What they're doing now with COVID is that they're making people test negative before they go on set. So they'll book them, they'll have to test negative, and then they're allowed to come on set. So that's something that's different, but it's not really holding back. In terms of DJing, I was a DJ that did a lot of events, and I went to bars, not so much clubs, but bars and events in LA. I don't think I'll be doing that for a while, sadly. Or if it's events, it'll probably be very closed and more small and intimate. But like I said, now that things have moved digitally, I think that's going to be, and people are starting to pick up on it. So I think that's going to be kind of the new wave in terms of music. In terms of dancing, dance studios are not really opening, but some dance studios are doing classes outside, which is weird. But I mean, I think
Now I've seen that. I've seen like Dance Fit, for example, has their
Uh-huh.
classes all outdoors. A lot
Yes.
even out here.
Yes. So I think people are adjusting. So I don't think it's going to really have long-term effects because I don't think people are going to just sit back and, oh, well, forget about my career. Oh, well, forget about my production company. I think people are just adjusting and finding new ways to acclimate to the Corona COVID lifestyle now.
That's interesting. So you mentioned your DJing a little bit. Is there a certain niche of type of genre of music that you focus on, or you just kind of go?
Yes. So I'm biased towards hip hop and R&B.
Okay.
That's just me. That's what I grew up on. That's what I love, especially at events and bars. Like that's just what vibes and gets the crowd going all the time.
Mhm.
Now I didn't stop there. I do reggaeton. I do deep house music. I wanted to expand, to not just be a DJ that does hip hop. Because I think if you're a DJ that does hip hop and house and reggaeton
Mhm.
and all this other stuff, then I think
Mhm.
you're more marketable one, and then
Right.
yeah, you're just more marketable, and you can do more with that. Because let's say I'm there's an event, but they want people who do house, and I'm like, oh, well, I do hip hop, darn it. And I'm no, now I can be like, okay, well, I also do that.
Mhm.
Here's my recording of the set I did, for example,
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, we definitely got to get some information from you on that so people can know how to reach out to you for a little DJing for some private events, possibly.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you said something that was kind of powerful earlier. You said
Mhm.
that, and I'm make sure I'm quoting you correctly. You said that desperation can destroy creativity.
Yeah. Creativity dies with desperation.
Creativity dies with desperation. Now,
Hmm.
I I just have to kind of dive into that a little bit, because that's a heck of a nugget. Do you have any other nuggets like that you like to share for people so they can understand where they are and use that to move forward in a positive fashion, or do you want to dig a little bit more into that statement?
We can dig a little bit more into that statement because that statement it has a lot, and it took a lot of understanding even for me to wrap my head around it.
Mhm.
Like I said, because I'm always a person that's just on the go, on the go, on the go. Like after something's done, okay, what's next? After that's done, okay, what's next? Or I'm thinking while that's going on, hey, what can I start planning in my head? That's so I'm always a person that's go, go, go.
Mhm.
And to hear that, it's okay to rest your mind. It's okay. Really, it's faith and hope, which is it's two scary things because they're not definite, But I think you have to
Because
have
you
faith
can't
in yourself.
control it. It's like you don't have
Exactly.
ultimate control. I saw a sermon recently where
Uh-huh.
the preacher was talking about how we have the illusion of control. Only thing
Mm-hmm.
we control is how we react to what happens around us. As far as shaping the outcome based on our reactions, but as far as what actually happens, we really don't have control over that. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's something scary, even that, to wrap your head around. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have control over my life. What? Um, but it's just, like I said, it's the desperation that can't happen. Like I couldn't keep pushing myself to create content. I couldn't keep pushing myself to go here or DJ here, when I don't know, when I wasn't up for it. So really, I honestly, on the contrary, I have turned down DJ gigs because one, I either haven't been mentally there at the moment, and I think that's a thing. If I'm not mentally there, I can't service you to my best ability.
Uh, yeah, I
Um,
can agree with that.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
and I think that's hard because people always want to just take every job, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to
You have to be
realign.
present because that's where how you can operate at greatness level. You can't just phone it in. Because people can tell.
Exactly.
People can tell when you phoning something in. That's not a
Exactly.
look. And
Or
then
when you're overwhelmed and
you
you're not really there because you have a million things on your mind. Yeah, exactly. So it's just really like taking the step back and then just evaluating and then just, allowing things to present themselves in front of you. And then, I mean, it sounds crazy, but honestly, that's really the, I guess, tactic I've taken. And that's really helped me because, like I said, being on the go, 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 I get exhausted. And when I'm exhausted, I really can't creatively think of things or creatively perform my best way. So to hear that creativity, desperation kills creativity. When she said that to me, it was almost like Oh my,
Wow.
it clicked. I was like, wow, like
You should put
that
that on
one
a
that is
t-shirt. You
power.
should put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Needs to be a sign. Everyone needs to know this.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think, like I said, I think that's just really important. That's helped me, not pushing myself all the time, but really taking a step back and allowing my brain to rest, allowing my mind to rest, allowing my body to rest as well.
So what are some things you've done to position yourself for success, at least some of the success you've already had in your career? What are some things you did to position yourself so you can be prepared and ready to take on those opportunities?
I think it's just been a lot of, one, as a DJ, how I've been preparing myself is just practicing my sets, recording my sets so I have material to show people, and also still promoting myself, but on the digital aspect. So like I said, I have my radio show. I did in April and then I did in August. I'm going to get more dates on the line, but just like also like pushing that, promoting myself, people. Yeah. And then in terms of acting, it's been, I want to say I've been in touch with my manager, just making sure we're on the same page, making sure I'm doing all I can for him so he can promote me the best way he can, but also looking for opportunities myself. So I never stop working for myself, even if I have a team behind me, because no one's going to work as hard as you, as you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
One of the things that I've recently noticed, because, I like, a lot of us watch TV and shows and we think that people on the other side of that camera are living these glamorous, wonderful, everything is like, gold streets and, caviar every day type of lifestyle. But I, I see you
People
laughing.
definitely think that.
Yeah, but I know as you mentioned earlier, it's a lot of hard work that goes into people doing what they do, and it's not necessarily as glamorous. It's a job like other people, do jobs. Their jobs just happens to be in front of a camera, and let me know if I'm wrong in what I'm saying.
No, you're exactly right.
Now we watch. Now I've seen some. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I watch, like, HBO is one of my favorite channels or whatever, and there's a show called Entourage, and it kind of shows the life, I guess, behind the scenes of somebody who's kind of trying to make it. And I don't know if you ever watched that show before.
I haven't seen it, and people get on me all the time for not having watched it, but I've seen like one episode, but I do need to go back and watch it because people all the time.
Well, what that show really exposes, like, there's so many moving pieces behind, what else that happens before the camera even starts rolling, and then even at that point there's no guarantee that what gets filmed is actually going to be shown.
Exactly.
And there's so much more that's filmed that's not shown in the final cut of work. Is there any particular situation where you did some amazing acting work and end up on the cutting room floor?
I want to say that has not happened to me yet. That's happened to friends of mine. I'm going to knock on wood. But no, that does happen more often than you think. You can film a whole movie or a scene in a movie, and then that scene just be cut. You still get paid for it, but you're not in the movie anymore. Or you can film a whole TV show pilot, like a whole show, and then the show doesn't get picked up. So then it's just, so that happens. It's just something, like we talked about, control. It's beyond our control. There's really nothing. It's just all about the networks, and if the networks picking it up, or the editors, if they deem the scene as important when it comes down to it, or if the movie's too long and they just need to cut it short, and they're like, okay, well, that's the scene that really can go, and the line of the movie can still move along. So yeah, that hasn't happened to me. I've had friends. I had a friend who was in, oh my God, what was that movie? Straight Outta Compton. And her scene got cut. So she, you won't see her, but she was she was there. But yeah, that hasn't happened to me, but it's definitely common, sadly. Yeah.
So one of my last questions I want to ask you: what is your dream role? Like, do you have a dream type of opportunity that you would like to have for your career? Because it seems like the people who get to that upper echelon has that one role that kind of just propels them. Have you ever thought about what that would look like for you?
Yes, my dream role would be, if we were comparing, it would be kind of like a Viola Davis, Taraji B. Henson type of character, like that strong female role. Yeah, it doesn't even, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be a teacher or what is she on Empire? was a producer. But definitely that strong female lead role, like Angela Bassett. Yeah, one of those. I don't know specifically what it would be, but definitely like a character that has a strong backbone and that gets stuff done.
Maybe
Yes.
working with Keanu Reeves on the next Matrix, maybe something like that.
Ooh, that would be, oh my, ooh, put that in the universe. That would be amazing. But yes, definitely something like along the lines of that. I think that would be awesome. Or even action. A cool action role would be amazing too.
I see that when I look at you, I thought you would probably be more of a, action type of actress. I was like, that was my first thought. I can kind of see you doing that.
Good.
Yeah,
I think that would be amazing.
Mhm.
Yes, definitely.
If they doppelgangered you and had you as a female version of the twins they had up in the other Matrix movie, that would be kind of
yeah. Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Look.
See,
let me write this down.
So one question I want to ask, of course, is give you opportunity to tell us how can we reach out and interact with you. Let's say somebody wants you to come do a modeling gig, or we want to come put you in our production, have you come DJ for us. What's the best way for us to reach out and contact you?
Yes, well, you guys feel free to email me. My email is Tierra, Tierra, Amira, Amira, @gmail.com. Or you can reach out to me on my website, www.tierraamirajones.com, or on my Instagram. Really, I'm reachable. My Instagram is Tierra_Amira, or my DJ Instagram, DJ_full exposure. And it's exposure without the E. The X.
Without the E? Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. And my final question that I like to ask everyone that comes on the show is, do you have any lasting thought, overarching message, something you want to leave us with? If we don't remember anything else that we talked about today, what would you like to leave the Career Coach Talk audience with?
I just want to leave you guys with just live and do things with passion. If you're not passionate about it, don't do it. That's really just how I live my life. I find things I love. I find things I'm passionate about. And then when I work, it doesn't feel like work. It's just me having fun, So I think that is also a lot of my drive and motivation, is that I just am genuinely passionate about these things. It's really fun for me. And it's just, that's why I want to keep going. That's why I want to do it every day. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for your time being with us on this show. That we definitely appreciate it. And I know people have learned a lot, especially about the entertainment world and how that works. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of Career Coach Talk. I'm Coach Rogers Bean. Hope you guys learned something. I surely did. And definitely reach out to Tierra, book her, check her out. Go watch season 8, episode 4 of Shameless. I will. And you guys have an awesome day. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Career Coach Talk. Are you ready for your next professional version of yourself? Come visit us at mdself.com. Schedule your free consultation or reach out to us via email at coach@mdself.com.